Howdy folks, Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer, and it's time again for gaming vlog. Let's hit it. So, this is my first video that I'm doing when I can say that I am completely well now from my pneumonia. I have put that in the rearview mirror now, and I am feeling about 99%. So, as far as I'm concerned, we're back in the saddle and ready to continue talking about gaming. So, for this vlog, we're going to talk about Salt Lake Comic-Con. For those that don't know, Salt Lake Comic-Con is now the third largest Comic-Con in the United States, behind San Diego and New York. So I've got some news about that. And I also wanted to talk about the announcement that Daybreak Games has made that Everquest Next has been canceled. The development of Everquest Next has been canceled. That is, of course, a very sad note. So, and then maybe we'll talk a little bit, a couple little bits and pieces of different things also besides that. But to start things off, let's talk about Salt Lake Comic-Con. For those of you that have been following my channel for quite some time, would know that I have covered every event of Salt Lake Comic-Con since it started. They have 2 events a year. They have the regular Comic-Con in September, and then in the spring, they generally have something that they call Fan X, which is short for Fan Experience. The Fan X event, which is getting ready to come up here next week, is generally, they try to keep it a smaller event so that fans that are attending have a better chance of actually getting in and talking to the talent that is there to do autographs and that type of stuff. Whereas with Comic-Con in September, the full-blown Comic-Con, it's huge. It's over 120,000 people. So with Fan X, they try to keep it, I think they try to keep it around 50,000. So anyway, so this will be their 6th event, I believe, since they started. And I covered every event. I had a press pass for every event. I did my part by going onto social media, and in addition to posting my video reviews, and I also would talk about it in my videos leading up to the events, in addition to actually doing a review video afterwards. And I generally did 2 videos. I would generally do one where I talked about the panels and all the other types of experiences and things and any interviews that I was able to do with talent. And then I would do another video where I just showed the different loot that I got at the convention, any items of particular note, and some of which you can probably see back there. Some of the stuff back there is all from the Comic-Cons. So, but in addition, on social media, I would tweet and get on Facebook and promote and help, Salt Lake Comic-Con. And I don't have a huge following, but I do have a certain amount of reach with people that follow me that might decide to go to the event. I know there's a couple people that I work with that went to the event. They didn't even know about it, and of course I told them about it, or they saw it on my videos, and they ended up going. So it saddens me to say that for the first time, my application for a press pass was denied. And you have to apply every single time. It's not automatic. You have to do an application every time, and then they either approve it or deny it. And they've never denied me before. It's always been, hey, welcome back, that type of thing. But for whatever reason, this time it got denied. And I found out also that one of my friends who runs Dungeon Crawlers Radio, he's got a much larger following than I do, and he initially got denied for his press pass. And then, of course, he contacted them and said, hey, I think this is a mistake, whatnot, and they ended up giving him, reinstating his press pass. So I was glad to hear that at least they got in. And they have a huge, pretty big, about 100,000 listeners on their podcast. So it's apparent that Salt Lake Comic Con is trying to weed out what they call small media, the YouTubers, the podcasters, that type of thing, and only allow big media to the event. It seems like that's the direction that they're obviously going, for whatever reason. And excuse me, I still do have a little bit of the hoarseness from the left over from the pneumonia, but bear with me. So it's kind of a sad thing because we all feel that they were the largest growing convention of any type. It's only been around 3 years, and they're already over 120,000 in attendance, and they themselves acknowledged that it was us. It was the small media people, the podcasters, the YouTubers that got the word out there about Salt Lake Comic Con and everything that helped, catapult them to those levels that they're at now. And then this is the route that they're taking for whatever reason. So I will not be covering it. I will not be going this week to FanX. And I certainly won't be covering it. I won't be promoting it. So that's just the trade-off, If you guys want to find out about it, you'll have to go to Comic-Con, SaltLakeComicCon.com or something like that, and find out the information that way, because I'm done talking about it. So that's one little piece of information that's out there. And they did have quite a bit of gaming content at Salt Lake Comic Con. They had a lot of gaming panels, and you guys saw that if you watched my videos. I would cover the panels. I would take video at some of the panels and that type of thing. So there was a certain amount of gaming to it, and that's one of the things I was always excited about going to, was because of the gaming content. But that's all behind us now. So anyway, so that's it for that topic. The next thing, let's talk about Daybreak Games. For those that aren't aware, Daybreak Games is what used to be Sony Online Entertainment, which was their online gaming division for like MMOs, that type of thing. So you have Everquest, Everquest 2, DC Universe Online, PlanetSide, H1Z1. You have all these types of games. And they've had many more in the past, but they've canceled a lot of them. So when they were Sony Online Entertainment, they had a guy named John Smedley, who a lot of us just call Smedley, and he was their CEO. And John Smedley is one of the guys that helped create Everquest, so the original Everquest. So he gets a lifetime pass on as far as his geek cred and all that goes for his involvement with Everquest. But a lot of the business decisions that were made under Smedley vexed a lot of us gamers. There was Star Wars. There was the Star Wars MMO, Star Wars Galaxies. For some reason, I was drawing a blank there for a second. Star Wars Galaxies. There was The Matrix Online. There was Vanguard, Saga of Heroes, and the list goes on and on. And they had a very bad reputation for not communicating with the community about upcoming changes and things that they were doing. And then a lot of times making decisions contrary to what the community asked for and so forth. Now that it is Daybreak Games, because it broke off, it was purchased by an outside company, a parent company. They rebranded themselves as Daybreak Games. They still have all of the gaming licenses for all their games. They were working on Everquest Next, the next iteration of the Everquest franchise. And they've made the announcement that it has been canceled, that the development on that has been canceled. And it was going to be a huge deal in the MMO world because it was going to have artificial intelligence in the creatures in the game world were going to have a new next generation of artificial intelligence where they would move based upon if there was, and they have some kind of algorithm that tells them this, there was a certain amount of traffic of player characters going through an area, the bad guys would actually figure that out somehow and migrate that way to try and block the player characters' progress and so forth. That's the level of AI that they were working on. Again, excuse me. And that has all been canceled now. And their reasoning was they just said, oh, well, we took a look at it and it didn't look like it was going to be fun. Well, I can't imagine how that couldn't be fixed. Somehow that couldn't be fixed with writing and, creativity and all that time. Then maybe you guys could fix that. But instead they just canceled the whole thing. This is another instance in a continuing trend of those types of business decisions on the part of Daybreak Games, which was formerly Sony Online Entertainment. The most recent before this one was H1Z1, the zombie apocalypse MMO type game that they're working on. Out of the blue, they never announced this initially. They sold founder packs for $20 or whatever it was to get into H1Z1, into the beta and so forth like that. And they have announced, they announced before this latest announcement with Everquest Next, they announced that they're splitting that game, H1Z1, into 2 games. One is like Just Survive, and one is like a King of the Hill type game. So that is going to be an obvious money grab there, where they're basically saying, well, we were going to get your money here and everything else, but if we split it, we can get double the money if we do it that way. And of course, they have cash shops in there. Every one of their games has cash shops in it and so forth. And that when they first started doing that with the cash shops and everything, their reasoning was, well, we're going to give you the games for free. We're going to let you play them for free. And they're all going to have cash shops, and that's how we're going to make our revenue and everything. And then H1Z1 came along, and they were charging people for founder packs, and now they've said they're going to split it, and they're going to charge for both games. So they're completely changing their business model now, too. So I don't know if you remember, but a couple of videos ago, before I got sick, I actually canceled my Daybreak Games All Access Pass that you pay $15 a month, and you get to play the games and everything. I actually canceled it because I kind of foresaw the way they were going. With the H1Z1 announcement and everything, I kind of saw how things were going. And I'd been, for many, many, many years, I was an all-access member with them, and I just pulled the plug. And call it gamer intuition, old man wisdom, whatever you want to call it. That's just, that's what happened. So, anyway, those are the 2 things I kind of wanted to talk about today. The voice is starting to go, so I'm going to have to stop it here. We're already coming up on 14 minutes. That's a long video anyway. So, we will catch you guys on the flip side. I should be able to start doing about 2 videos a week now that I'm back healthy again and everything. So, look forward to that, guys. And we'll catch you on the flip side.